Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redlens Jack here with another One Piece analysis video. Today we're going to be talking about the Fish Eye Pirates, specifically what's going to be happening to them post time skip, their changes, their power-ups, their development, and I'm going to be delving a little bit into that. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch more from Redlens Jack, myself, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and hit that bell. Make sure you don't miss a single analysis video that comes out. So if you enjoy, stick around. Okay, so before I begin, let me go ahead and establish ahead of time what led to this post-time skip for anyone who's been amiss. So the Fish Eye Pirates decide to go to Shabondi Archipelago before going over to the second half of the Grand Line, the New World, where things get a little bit more dangerous, as we've been told by Drac the Hero and multiple of the Archie pirates, the sword-built pirates, forgive me. So they go to Shabondi, and then they find an admiral by the name of Oranjiki, and Zack decides to step in and say he doesn't want to run, even though his crew try to not to go against him, but some of the crew like Barry and Maurice just kind of have a little bit of doubt at the beginning, but they all decide to aid their captain against this fight that they believe they may win, they may not win, but even if they die, they don't want to die falling. So what happens? They go, they fight Oranjiki finds them, and they get destroyed, basically. They get completely mollywopped. And then one of the Shichibukai, Cinder, goes and does a trick, a maneuver with his Cinder or Ash Devil Fruit, and sends them all flying. Turns them to ashes and they go flying. And then they land on respective islands. And after Zack goes to Marineford, witnesses the death of Fitz, realizes that he's not strong enough for his crew to go into the New World, he says 2 years they're going to be taking away from each other to train, to get stronger, to come back together and conquer the New World, conquer the Grand Line, and get to that One Piece. So, let's begin. We'll end with Zack. We'll begin with Barrett Winsboro. So Barry, he goes ahead and he lands on an island that we don't have the name for yet, but he lands on the island that has the base of the Revolutionary Army. He meets what we've heard be called the Core Four, the four Knights of the Round Table, the four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the four Horsemen. We've heard things like that. Names been thrown around. That is Donatello, one of or holds the swords of one of the seven swordsmen of Gold Roger, seven Sin swordsmen. We've seen Uchiyo von D. Pianti. There's There's Ludwig, holder of the Luck Devil Fruit, that Zack meets at Marineford, or actually in Impel Up. And a fourth member we don't know yet, but he lands there and he meets Rex. And there, this is where Barry decides to train. Now we know Barry has a big knight inspiration into his character. We know that when he was made to be the weakling, the most human of the characters, and he's been made a coward. Now I think that with his development, post time skip, as far as character goes, which is where we're going to start, we're going to go character, then we're going to go abilities, and then we're going to go long term. So I believe Barry, as far as development, he's going to become more braver. He's going to be able to fight battles on his own. Where earlier, as we saw in Dandy Cone, he had to rely on Zack. In Renoir with Desmond, he didn't even fight. When you go to the Grand Line, we go to Chamberlain, where he gets kidnapped nearly immediately. We go to Anastar, where he finally gets that big moment, but then he inevitably loses, which he does become the catalyst that lets Zack win, making Arthur able to be hit, but in the end he still loses. But I think that this is the catalyst to having Barry be able to do 1v1 battles and continue to go forward. So, next is his upgrades. I believe that Barry, we saw him be able to move little machines around. So I think maybe more of like an Iron Man Endgame Infinity War type style where the armor kind of goes on his body. Maybe he uses it like nanotech and makes different weapons that go around him, or some form of new technology, I believe. Because we've seen Barry use little gadgets, then we saw him use a laser sword, then we saw him use the King Nightingale armor, which the boots and hands when he's fighting Ace in Enies Lobby. And now I think we're gonna get something that's more concise, where it's been, his thing before used to be this object and this object and this development and this invention. This is going to be more of one invention, maybe that has multiple things in it, but it's specifically one thing. And I think that's where we're going to get more of that Knight Barry. We're going to get maybe I'm going to go ahead and say maybe a third Barry Productions, Barry Industry armor that keeps things within it, that's more concise than his first armor, which was destroyed by Arthur. And then altogether, I just think Barry's I think BC's gonna try and enforce that knight mentality into Barry. Maybe more stoic. Maybe just a little bit more stoic. Maybe as far as look, maybe a longer hair. Maybe she dyes his hair. I'm not too sure. But that as far as that goes, that's out of my range as predictions. I just think Barry's gonna be more knight-like. More valiant. Next is Shem Little Rooster. We meet Shem in I believe it's Moriori Island. Shem has been a massive part of the story so far. I think it's arguable him, Zack, and maybe I think everybody else is kind of even. I think him and Shem and Zack, are the most story-driven characters in the Fisheye Pirates. Now Shem, we've seen him, he's able to read the poneglyphs, which no one on this crew can do. And then we've seen him be a part of these 5 tribes, which we can only assume are something that is going to be very in-depth, what's the word? Untangled as the story goes on in this next part of the world. I believe that the 5 tribes are going to be a massive story point in the end of One Piece and what the One Piece actually is, but that's a story and a video for another day. Today, I'm just going to go ahead and believe, as far as time skip, Shem goes to one of the 4 tribes. He goes to one of the 4 tribes, and he ends up meeting a king, a tribal leader of some sort, who does this strange ritual on Shem, and Shem seems to get this new power, and it's almost like Shem's become, which is funny that they've done this, Shem's become a god, because Shem is, as far as the women see him, he is a sexually driven character. So as far as both men and women see him and draw him online, we see that he goes to I believe it's the 3rd of the 5 tribes we've seen so far, the Janbutali tribe. I look at my notes for that one, I'm sorry. The Janbutali tribe, and meets that tribe, and they are training him. And this is Shem has gotten a few abilities from like the Castelia tribe, and he got his basic abilities from the Pontyhuntu tribe. But this is the first time we've seen a specific tribe sit down and train Shem. The leader from Castelia imbued some of his energy into Shem, which was less training from them and more Shem having to use the power he's already gotten and train it himself. But this is specific training, so I think that this is going to be Shem's going to, number one, perfect the ancestral arts that he said before, the animal styles, and he's going to gain something new. And here's my theory. I think they're going to go for something like the same 2 sides of the same coin. So what I'm assuming is Shem he had his original skills, in Pontyhundu. Then he went to the first half of the Grand Line, and he learned the celestial or the Castelial arts. Then trained that himself, and it wasn't perfected. Now I think Shem's gonna go to the new world, or go to time skip, and he's going to perfect the Castelial arts and learn from the Janbutali tribe something new, and then he's gonna go, hear me out, to Zong. Once going to Zong, he's going to perfect what Janbutali tribe taught him and learn something final with the Zong tribe. With 4 tribe arts in Shem, that leaves only 1 tribe, which we still don't know, which is also another video for another day. That might be the next video I talk about, the 5 tribes. So I believe, as far as what it's going to be, I think it's going to be a power-up. We've seen the markings go on him, and we've seen him have visibly a power increase. So I think this might be more of a, as the Pontyhuntu and Castelia type power-ups have been more of a visible creature increase as far as the animal. I think this will be more of a human upgrade, more of a steroid, if you will. As far as, I think Shem is going to come out of the Janbutali tribe and reunite and be more of a Egyptian base. Maybe more gold on him, more jewelry, maybe piercings in his ears, maybe a little bit more ripped. Maybe he'll even wear a shirt this time. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on that, because then I feel like a lot of women will be disappointed. I want to say maybe longer hair, more beads in that, more tribal and more Egyptian in appearance. And I think Shem, as far as the character, is going to develop to be more determined for the future things. Because right now he's been determined, but he's been, as far as like all the fish eyes go, he's been without a goal, it appears. Well, we know he wants to discover the final island and learn, but like we know clearly Desmond wants to be a legend. We know clearly Maurice is looking for like the perfect sound. We know clearly Jester's trying to abolish the government because of what happened with his father. However, we don't have a decisive drive for Shem, even though Shem has been a focal point in the story. So I think once coming out of this time skip, Shem is going to have more of a grasp on what he wants to do in this world. Now this video is going to be a 2-parter, and this last one is going to be the end of the first half. We'll come back for the second half with when we do this, basically all the Straw Hats, the fish eyes, sorry, the One Piece spin-off, all the fish eyes that came in the Grand Line. But right now we're going to do all in Lovely Dusk. Next is Desmond Askeladd. Now, Desmond lands in the country of King Jim Statner. Now, we know King is strong, said to be on Shanks level. So, sorry. I just watched the One Piece spinoff on Finn Chimes level. Even though we haven't really seen much of Finn, we know that he's able to block a hit from an Admiral, and we know that King is able to go and hang with Archibald. So we know his strength, and we've seen King be way more than powerful. We know he's strong. Now Desmond going there says a lot. I believe Desmond coming out of post time skip is going to be very much like, right now Desmond is strong. We know the monster trio, the beast trio is Zack, Shem, and Desmond. And I think coming out, the parallel of the beast trio over the rest is going to be very clear. I believe Desmond is going to get a very strong power up. Maybe we see a little more of honing his craft on that legend scroll, more with his scales, more versatility. We've seen him be able to create little bases, like a base for Isaki to stand on, or like we saw that massive shield on Mantine. But I think we're gonna get more. I think we're gonna get his scale arts, his 9 scale worlds. We're definitely gonna see more of those. And I think Desmond is going to be jacked to start, and he's going to have more knowledge in his combat. I think he's going to have more of a grasp on what he plans to do to become that legend and to be by Zack's side. I think he sees, after losing to Oranjiki, I think he's going to be more combat aware instead of just rushing in for a fight, and he's going to have more battle sense and more versatility to back up that battle sense. I think Desmond is going to be a powerhouse going into post time skip. And as far as character, I think he's going to have more of a, either if they don't go with the night path for Barry, maybe Desmond will get more of that night path, maybe some more armor, and Desmond is going to have more of a Viking feel. I feel like he's going to get more gritty with it. He's going to be less remorseful, but also more remorseful, if that makes sense. He's going to be smarter in his approach to combat and his approach to his dream. Because I think now Desmond is more determined than ever. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and slap the like button. Remember, subscribe, all that good stuff. The next video will be coming out soon. I hope you enjoyed. Next video, we'll be talking about Maurice Chandelier, Jester Norman, Laurence Charmant, and Isaki Marine, as well as ending the video, or maybe doing an entire video, on Zack D. Sparrow and what he gets by training with Nero Williams. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. I love you all. This is Redlands Jack, signing out.